We got, oh yeah. Big Daddy Cactus. Oh yeah.
Big Daddy Cactus. I hate you, York. You made me do that. Flip's sake.
I did say Big Daddy Cactus. I just said it again. There we go.
Are you ready for a party? Welcome to the party, pal!
What's up, guys? Good evening. Good evening. How is everybody doing? We got Luna Blue Rose Raid coming in here. Luna. What? She got some. She got some bind of love. I can't speak. She got some bind of love, baby. Yeah. So. I know you got your box was crazy, by the way. Nice art rares. I mean, the gold and then of course the Alolan Executor SAR. So to get a gold and SAR in the same box for this set right now, with the pull rates being what they are, is just loco. It's loco. So Raylan, welcome in. Rena, welcome in. Luna, of course, I know you're coming in here with your Raiders. I know Chocolate's in here. Adriana came in here early. I know she can't. She might be able to pop in every once in a while. I know busy night for some of you guys, and I know it's a busy night because it is a Friday. There's a bunch of people streaming right now, but we're just here to do one of my usual chill art ranking streams. So if you don't know, if you're new to one of these kinds of streams, I skipped it for Stellar Crown, but I've done it for every other set before this. It's just Stellar Crown. I was trying to go in a little bit more blind with the set, so I didn't really do an art ranking because I didn't want to really familiarize myself too much with the art. I was really trying to just have more fun with that set, just kind of give that a chance. But no, we're going back to the art ranking. So if you do want to follow along and make your own tier list as I'm going through and making mine, and we'll switch cameras and we'll get to that in a moment here. But if you go to... If it's not in the description of this video, of this stream, go to my community post. If you're on the Discord, I also linked it there as well in the announcements tab. But I can also grab it. You know what I'll do is I can also grab it. I'll post it in the chat, and then I can also pin it. You know, let me do that right now for you guys if you want to make your own tier list as we go along. And I'm going to go through. I don't talk about EXs or A specs. I'm just talking about we do. Full arts, we do art rares, we do SIRs, and we do golds. And when I get to full arts, you'll see that I typically start off with full arts at a C ranking. Like, so they get a grade, right? A, B, C, D, E, F. And then, of course, if it's like amazing, I wouldn't change a single thing about it, it's flawless, then that's like S tier. So that's above the A tier. Otherwise, it's just A through F. And then, S tier, of course, is for those special circumstances. Like come on, we already kind of know which things, if you guys know me, you probably have an idea about which things I would rank as like S tier, and I'm pretty sure that most of us would rank those things S tier. But there's going to be some variations where we might differ on our opinions about certain cards, and that's okay. People have various different opinions about the hobbies and things we collect. So there's going to be some cards I might rank S or A that you wouldn't even rank anywhere near the top. You'd be like, oh, Cactus, no, that's a D card. And then there's going to be some cards where it's the opposite, where I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't like this card artistically. I don't like it personally. I don't like it for X, Y, Z reasons. And that's why I'm ranking it low. And then some people will be like, oh my God, no, Cactus, that's an A or S tier. So that's why I'm going to get this link here. I'm going to put it in the chat. I'm going to pin it. That way, again, you can make one of these tier lists along for yourself, and you can share it with me later. If you know me on Discord, or if you're on my Discord, if you're a member, I mean, feel free to definitely, share with me the lounge chat, and we can talk about it. We can have a healthy debate about why you're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. While all of our opinions are valid, mine a little bit more, but no, I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. All right. Let me put in the chat here, tier maker list, and then I'll drop the link, and then let me pin that at the top. There it is. Replace pinned image. There we go. All right. So we got a pin at the top of the chat. All right, guys. So here's how we do this. So if I have this set up correctly, I should be able to now go over to this screen here. Yes, we got it. So the very first artwork. So we're going through art rares. I got full arts here. I got full art Pokemon, the full art trainers. We got the SARs to talk about, and then we got the golds at the end. Golds, similarly to full arts, golds pretty much start off at the C tier. Now, C is not terrible. That just means like average. So think of it that way. So like I automatically start all full arts and golds. I just want to be clear. All full arts and golds at the C tier. And then I have to, in my head, I have to decide, okay, like, because there's less stuff to talk about with this card, do I rank it higher? Is it a really nice full art, or is it like, actually, is it a bad Pokemon or a bad full art? Like, why did this Pokemon get a full art? There's some Pokemon that I'm like, why does this get a card, like a special artwork, and so many other Pokemon always continuously get neglected and don't get the spotlight on them? So, all right, without further ado, but let's get into it. So, very first card we have, and I'm going to try to keep this to about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I hope to have a good pace here. And there's going to be certain artistic terms I'm going to talk about, like the rule of thirds. I know Luna and all of them are going to talk to me and laugh at me about it. But if I ever say something about the rule of thirds, it means like I forgot to have an example here again. But like okay. So let me just this is going to be hard for you guys to see on screen. Where is my permanent marker? But if you guys are wondering, Cactus, what is the rule of thirds? Let me tell you right now. All right, so here we go. All right, you see this? You see this card? This is the Shellos. You see this Shellos card? You see how I put 2 lines vertically and I put 2 lines horizontally. So the rule of thirds states that if you put lines equidistant vertically and horizontally, where those lines intersect is where you want your subject of the card to be, or the photo, or whatever. If you're a graphic artist, or if you're a graphic designer, or if you work on computers or whatever, you want to make sure that, like, it's usually a fair, the best way to get your viewers' attention is to put your subject where those lines intersect, because our eyes are naturally drawn more towards the corners of pictures and images, because that's more visually interesting to our eyes. If you always take pictures of like your subject in the dead center of the picture, that comes off to us like you're gonna instinctually know, like in your head subconsciously, like that's a boring shot. It's not as interesting to someone who just maybe, instead of like, if you just took a picture of me like this, that's boring. But if I'm like off to the side here, like, and I'm looking off to that way, then you're like, oh, that's interesting. So when I talk about the rule of thirds, that's basically what I'm talking about. Bebop says Shelliff is my favorite Mon, unsubbed. But welcome in again, Rena. Bebop, Dar Bing's coming in here. We're going to be talking about the artwork. We haven't really started here yet, but I'm going to start off here. I'm going to say execute. I know Luna's already busting my chops, but execute. I love the colors of this. I think they did a great job on it. I like that you can see, it almost feels like a watercolor. Like the tech, if you look at the image, right? I don't know if any of you are familiar or have worked with different papers or have, your art, think back to your art classes if you took any, but the texture of this card, if when I look closely, it reminds me of like a card stock that you use for watercolors. And actually, if you look at the shadow of the palm trees that are on the execute here, like it is very reminiscent of like watercolor strokes, like even how like watercolors bleed. So that's a very cool effect if you really notice it. Again, colors are great. I love that the textures. I love that I'm getting like the watercolor vibes from this. I like to see different mediums that these Pokemon artists try out. So for me, I actually really like this a lot. Am I crazy about it? Like, no, but I got to give props to the artists here. So I'm actually ranking this a B for me. And as we go throughout the night, you're going to see me kind of maybe slightly rearrange these, because I might say, for the next card, I'm going to say, is this better? Like it's B. I might say the next card is B tier. Okay, now I have to decide, and I'll work through it with you guys in chat. I'll be like, and I'm going to talk it through in my own head as well. Like, do I think this is better than execute? Okay, I'll put it above execute, so it's more of a B plus, and then Execute will get pushed back down into like maybe the B tier, like B minus tier. So that could happen. So you're going to see a lot of this artwork get rearranged on my tier maker list here on the screen. But yeah, so I give it a B. I like it for all those reasons. Color, I do like the composition. I think it's a great job. It's just not like blowing me away. That's all, you know. And again, my personal bias will come into effect and come into play with some of these artworks. So yeah. All right, guys, so we're going to go to the next one. Vivillin. Okay. So I do like the composition, meaning like it is interesting where the Pokemon is. It's kind of off to the right side of the image. So very visually interesting to me. I like the detail on like the decaying trunk with like the moss and all the little foliage at the bottom. The background is blurred, like how if you're taking a photograph and the Vivillin is your subject, it would naturally blur out the background. So that's kind of cool. So in my head, I'm almost thinking like as if like a Pokemon researcher took this photo of this Vivillin, or, you know, a Pokemon breeder or something is out in the wild, or and the insect keeper, you know, trainers or whatever. So I like this card. I like the colors. I like the subject. I like the detail of the of like that tree trunk in the bottom that's decaying and everything. There's even like little like the flowers in the background off to the left side that you can see are blurred out as well. So I do like it, and I have seen some of these pulled already, and the colors do pop nicely. So for those reasons, I am going to give it a B ranking. Do I think it's better than the Execute? I'm not really sure. I really do. I got to give props to that Execute. I think there's a little bit more detail and more time was put into the Execute. So I'm going to rank it slightly below the Execute right here. But again, so that's still very good. B is solid. Okay, like C is average. D is like bad. There's a lot of improvements, things I think they should have changed. And F to me is like an absolute failure. I don't know why this Pokemon got a card. So that's kind of where my ranking goes. A is pretty much stellar. Like there's maybe one or two minor things holding it back, I feel. And then S is like pretty much dang near flawless. Even if there's one thing I'd change, I'd be like, nah, it's still amazing. It's got to be S tier. So, Executor, Coaching, Execute, B-Ball. Interesting, Kimberly. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Kimberly, welcome in. Makes me think of the Charmander with the Charizard Shadow. Oh, yeah, I can see that. But, Kevin's in here, too. Kevin, welcome in. Now, the next one. Shinotic. I do like the colors of this. It kind of reminds me of, like, you remember when you were a kid and you put those, like, bioluminescent stars on your ceiling? Like, you know, underneath like the mushroom, like it has that kind of bioluminescent color to it. Kind of interesting. I do like the darker colors. I like how there's like a foreground, like you know how like on the top and left right side of the front of the image here, you see that black outline, like a silhouette outline of all these like mushrooms and fungus and things. I think that was a very cool touch. They could have just like left that out, but it gives it a cool, interesting depth of field for this image for the Shinotic. So like you've got like that silhouette it kind of helps frame in the Shinotic almost. Like it draws your eyes into it. So for that reason, I like the composition of that. And then there's these hundreds and hundreds of mushrooms and fungus also like on the floor of this cave. Like look there's hundreds of them. Different colors, different shapes, like that had to take quite some time to get all those details, the shadows, the shadow details, the highlights. Do I think it's like I mean, I feel like I'm giving a lot of B's here to start off, but I feel like this is B for me as well. For those reasons, like, am I crazy about Shinotic? No, but like artistically speaking, I really think that they put a lot of time into this. I know some people are going to be like, I don't know, maybe would grade a little harsher. I'm definitely going to put it more towards the lower end of B tier, so it might end up being like low B, like B minus tier. But for right now, I got to give props to the artist for putting in so much time and effort. I can see it. As someone who's worked with artists a lot, I can see that they, even if they weren't excited maybe to get this Pokemon, because I sure as hell wouldn't have been, I still feel like they tried and they put a lot of work into this. By the way, you guys can drop as I go through these cards. You guys can feel free to, if you don't want to make the tier maker list and follow along, feel free to drop in your grades as I go. Like I'll look at it and I'll get a chuckle out of it, because sometimes you guys are gonna be like A, or like you're gonna be like Luna, and you're gonna be like F, bro, F. So yeah. All right, but let's go to the next one. Cast form. Cast form is cool. I'm not a crazy fan of cast form though. So again, here's my personal bias coming in. Not a huge fan of cast form, but I do like the art style of this a lot. I feel like a lot of artists in this set really kind of knocked it out of the park with certain artworks like this, even though, again, not a cast form fan. I'm making that very clear here. But just the amount of detail and the line work and how crisp the lines are and the colors pop. And you've got the cast form that's like right here, like in your face. And it's following the rule of thirds because that cast form's kind of off center. Like your eyes are drawn into that one. And then you're like, and the more you look at the image, you're seeing like, oh, there's the other one. And oh, there's another one further back. And oh my God, there's another cast form like in that cloud way further back. And like, I don't know about you guys, but I also got some like Super Mario World 2 vibes from this. If you guys know, if you ever played Super Mario World 2 on the Super NES, like when you're at the menu screen going from level to level, it kind of has that, I don't know, like the colors kind of reminded me of that, like a top-down view of like a, you know, that kind of a world map thing, you know what I mean? So yeah. For that reason, I would give it like a, I'm thinking it's going to end up being like low A tier, but I think it's very high up there. So I do like it a lot, but it's going to probably get pushed down very further along. So just kind of be aware of that. Or Mario. Yeah, Kimberly. Exactly. So that, exactly. Minecraft vibe with the scenery. Yeah, that too, for sure. Rena's dropping the sunglasses. I don't have my sunglasses in here. I left them in the other room. So, but yes, thank you for that. C for me, but for the colors. Gotcha, Kevin. That's fine. I know you guys, again, feel free, you know, let me know your grades in the chat, because I am curious to know as we go through these, for sure. So, let's go to the next one here. After cast form, we have, all right, so Larvesta. I finally got a high-res image of this because for the past several weeks, like there was only a really, really terrible quality photo of this particular image on Justin Basil and on even PokeBeach. Like it was just super pixelated, not very crisp, not very clear. But this Larvesta, I gotta say, I'm honestly disappointed by it. I just wish, I do appreciate that the artist has like, there's textures here. You can see the textures of like the wood of the floor and the shadows coming in and how the shadows aren't exactly crisp and clear. There's like a little bit of a shadow variance with like the lighting. So I appreciate certain details like that. I actually also like it kind of feels like almost like a crayon-ish texture for the Larvesta itself with like the pillow or like the, whatever it's sitting on, like resting on, sleeping on. But I'm honestly disappointed by this card. I just feel like the artist dropped the ball. I feel like if I was talking with this artist, I would have asked him to go in a different direction. It just feels a little... The Larvesta is in the center of the image. It just feels a little boring to me. So, I feel like I'm going to put it in C tier for me. I think it's going to end up being like low C tier. I don't know if I want to be as harsh as giving it a D, but there's a lot of things because I want to give props to the artist for doing like all those things I said nicely, but I'm a little bit disappointed, not a little bit disappointed. I am quite disappointed by this. And I think there'd be some changes I would have talked and worked with the artist through to make this better. So for those reasons, I'm just going to give it a C. And it's probably going to end up being pushed down probably to like the C- range. I don't think it's D, but I think it's probably going to be lower C range. And, you know, yeah, that's what's going to happen. Okay. Cerulege. Okay. My personal bias is coming in here. I love Cerulege. It was on my team in my copy of Violet. Okay, I loved Cerulege. I thought it was amazing. I love the combination of Fire Ghost. I think I was even able to teach it a Dark type move in my copy. I can't remember exactly, but I love Cerulege. I've seen this card pulled. The colors pop. Looks amazing. The Cerulege looks amazing. The foreground looks great. There's all these details. In the background, there's like these pillars and this like plant life and these kind of like fireworky explosions and these curls of color in the back and these like streaks of like bioluminescent stuff going on back there. And it's definitely a chase for me. So for me personally, I know some of you might say, well, Cactus, I think I might put it just like in the A tier. But for me, I really like it. It's probably going to be one of the few regular art rares that's going to be like S tier for me. Now, I think it might end up being like lower S tier, but guys, personally, I really actually like it. I know you're going to say, well, but Cactus, like Larvesta was in the center of the image, and now the Ceruledge in the center of the image. Aren't you kind of contradicting yourself? Yes, a little bit. But sometimes when you have a subject that's in a clear, strong pose, like this Ceruledge, and pardon my language, but it looks like it's ready to kick some ass. So like, I'm willing to overlook that, right? So yeah, I'm putting it. It's in my S tier for sure. Like I'm going after it, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people are too. And Ceruledge is, come on, Ceruledge is badass. It's a great design. The card has a great design. It just all is fantastic. So yeah, let's go to the next one. I see S tier, by the way. I see S tier. I see A tier. I see some various opinions here, and that's fine. Again, we're gonna have different opinions, and I expect that. You guys are all entitled to have your opinions about these artworks, so I get you for 100%. Feebas with like the plant life and everything. What's really cool about this card, as you guys are well aware of at this point, is how cool this card integrates with the Milotic SIR, right? So, I really do like that a lot. I love when an artist is able to have connecting cards to make like a bigger image, like that all kind of tells a story. The colors on this are great. The lighting is great. The detail of like the seaweed and this plant life under the water is really good. There's a little bit of the murkiness of the color of the water, and like you can see if you've ever scuba dived or if you've ever snorkeled before, especially I have in some lakes in upstate New York, and those waters are not like the Caribbean waters. You're gonna see like little particulates like dust and dirt being kicked up in the water. So you're seeing also that stuff in this water too. So I'm always looking for things like that, right? A, Oling, because it goes with Milotic. If alone, I'd give it a B. See, that's kind of similar to how I feel, Mike. If it was just by itself, it would be a little bit boring. But because I know that this is all part of a larger image, it does get points for that. Do I think, though, is it better than the cast form, though? I'm not really sure. So I'm going to rank it a little bit below the cast form here. So I do put it in my A tier because, again, it's getting extra points for me because of the Milotic, and it makes that really beautiful, like, combined image, right? So, for sure. By the way, Sven, welcome in. I feel like if I've missed anybody else, please let me know, guys, if I've missed anybody else. But, and Sven is shouting out a bunch of people. Rena's shouting out Sven as well. Hi, B. Well, okay, so Sven, you're kind of feeling in the same camp. I'm a little bit like in between both camps, very high B, like low A. So right now, that's why I'm putting it under cast form for right now. Because I could change. I could even change my order after I end the stream. I don't know. Like I've done that once before, or maybe twice before. So yeah. All right. Let's go to the next one. The Spheal. Okay. The Spheal, I actually... if you guys watch my video, the other day, okay, is it, no, it was today. It was today's video. Well, now I'm spoiling it for you. Okay, so I do have the Spheal, right? I do have the Spheal card, so I can look at this very closely. The colors are great. I love all the blues, the whites, like the light blues, baby blue, sky blues. You can see like... you know, the crisp kind of triangular icebergs in the back. They're literally triangular icebergs in the back. Just great details on this. Yo, Albino is coming in. Albino! We're just talking artwork, Albino. So we're ranking these. I rank these. But the Spheal I do like a lot. I like it a lot. And you know what? I appreciate it a lot. I think they did a great job on this. The different shapes. There's the triangular icebergs in the back. There's these kind of squarish looking little pieces of ice in the front. And then you've got like the round, rotund Spheals. It's a fun card. There's a little story going on. And for all those reasons, I'm going to give it an A tier as well for this one. And I'm going to put it above Feebas. But does it go above cast form? I think... is it better than the cast form? I think I'm going to rank it slightly below the cast form, but higher than the Feebas. So I'm going to put it in A tier for me. Kevin says B, but also shouting out Albino. Albino! Yes, he's coming in here. He had some good pulls tonight. Good pulls this evening. All right. But let's go to the next one, and I'm going to dread this one. Oh, I don't like Bruxish at all, guys. I don't like Bruxish at all. I'm sorry. This is one of those Pokemon where I was telling you guys at the beginning of the stream. why does something terrible like this get an art rare card and other things get mixed out? So I'm not even gonna look at the chat because I know what you guys are saying. You guys might be like, no, I disagree with you, Cactus. But I'm gonna put this right away in D tier. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna give it an F tier, but I'm like, why? Why does this get a slot? Like, why? Why does the weird big lip fish get like with like the big eyelash things get? I don't. And it's not getting an F tier because I gotta give the artist some credit for like the coral and the kelp detail and the texture of like the water at the top. Like I might even feel bad and maybe move this up to like low C tier because I feel like the artist did put a lot of work into this card, but I'm like, why, Bruxish, why? Like, so yeah. Without further ado, we're gonna move on. All right. Satitan. Okay, Satitan. Satitan is following the rule of thirds, so my eyes are kind of interested by it. It's just a little too boring for me. I can't rank this like A tier. I'm even struggling to give this like a B tier, guys, because it's just, I do appreciate the Satitan looks okay. The whalemer and like you can see the whalemers like in the sea, in the ocean down below it, like in the ice along there, like probably trying to eat it. I get maybe they're trying to make the message like, which is funny because whalemers are clearly not whales that eat seals. Like the whalemers, like their teeth are the kind of teeth that like eat krill, like those like microscopic krill, like the shrimps. So like I don't know if that's why they're trying to like make that like a funny thing. But for me, it's C tier. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm going to say that a lot probably during the stream where I'm going to say sorry, not sorry, or I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, really. Okay. Do I think it's better than the Larvesta? Yeah, I think it's better than the Larvesta, but it's a C tier for me. It's just, it fell a little flat. It fell a little flat for me. So yeah, it looks like everybody's kind of on the same boat. Yeah, with that. And what's frustrating is that this could have been better. This could have been so much better, and I could have given this a higher grade, but it's just a little flat. Okay, Stunfisk. Now, Lasse and I did a pack battle on Civic Minim stream, and this got pulled in my battle in my pack versus Lasse. But guys, I'm just like, I don't really. I'm like, I don't. Here it is down here. What are you guys saying? C. Oh no, wait, hold on. F. A. Cardboard collectibles. It's not an A cardboard, by the way. Welcome in. It's not an A. The Stunfisk is not an A. I'm giving the Stunfisk a D because I feel like they took like it looks like the dirt / mud is 3D generated. It doesn't look like an artist did it. It looks like they kind of threw it into a program and then they kind of added in the Stunfisk that looks like it was, I don't know. It looks really lazily added in. Also, it looks kind of 3D generated. It screams, it feels very lazy to me. And that just definitely frustrates me. So that's why I'm giving it an F. I don't really like the card. I don't think the composition's all that great. And for all those reasons with like the lack of detail, it feels like a 3D image that just kind of got like threw into a generator and just, pooped back out. So yeah, I don't, so realistic. I like it. Cardboard. I think you're trolling me. I think you're trolling me, fam. All right. Latios. Okay. Now this is either, I have to debate with myself here. Does it get, it's either A tier or S tier. I have to decide whether it's like, because it's with the Latias, of course, and the Latias is one of my chases, by the way. Does that give it enough of a push? I do like the colors. I do like the background. I do like how like the town down below looks really great. Again, colors are fantastic. Those reds and like those kind of light purples and pinks of the sunset in the background. And then, of course, like the rays of the sunlight coming in. And I have seen one or two of these pulled, I think once on Surge's and once on somebody else's. And this card does look stunning. So, it's just, I don't know. Like I just there's something pulling me back though from being S tier. Like, guys, I'm just gonna. I see what you're saying, and I know we all feel very passionately about this SA tier. For me right now, I just don't know if it does enough to kind of push it in the S tier for me personally. Okay. But I'm still gonna put it. It's high, very high A tier for me. Like I'm putting it at the top for right now, so above the cast form. So it's very high up there. So yes, I do love it. It's great, and it works beautifully with the Latias, right? I just don't know if it does enough to get me to that S tier, but it's still very good. When I say like high A tier, we're talking like A plus here. Okay, so yeah. All right. The Mesprit also great colors. The sunset in the background. I like the foreground, how it's like a silhouette. I do like how you see again, like almost like the lens flare from the sun as it's setting, or maybe it's rising. Mesprit looks great. It's in an interesting pose. It's not like in a static, like boring pose. Is it like FD C tier? No, of course not. I'm just wondering, is it for me personally? For me personally, is it see the Feebas, the reason why the Feebas is an A tier is because it's connected to the Milotic, and I think that helps. That's what pushed it into an A tier. But I don't know if the Mesprit does enough for me to push it into A tier to give it kind of like that. It is a stunning card. I just feel like I'm gonna put it high B for now. It's gonna be above Execute, but it's in the high B range. We're talking like B plus, folks. So the pose is great, colors are great, background is fantastic, and for those reasons, I'm gonna give it a high B tier. I just don't know if there's enough here for me to give it A to push it into A tier. So yes, I see you guys saying A, B. Okay. Below cast form. Okay, Sven. Yeah. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. But yeah, so this is why I'm saying you guys feel free to make your own list as we're going along, because you might be like, I don't like this. I don't like this. So yes, top of B is fair. Got you. All right. Famp, very cool. But I will say right off the bat, I'm going to say it right now. I'm disappointed in this card. I'm a little disappointed in this card. I do like this. The style's kind of cool with like the thicker lines. Background is interesting. With like the silhouettes of the other Pokemon behind it, right? I'm getting a little bit of like a tiny bit of like a little bit of like Lion King vibes from like the sun in the background, like because of how it has that, like the sun has that kind of like ripple effect, like from the horizon, right? From like the heat effect or whatever it is. Wow, you guys are all saying A. Like, I'm like, it's a nice card. I do like the wheat in the front, in the foreground, like with all that stuff. I'm just kind of like, about the card though. Like, I do like it, but for me personally, it's not A tier. Is it? It's not low tier, but for me personally, it's going in B tier. I'm putting it right behind the Mesprit, so it's high B tier, like right up in here. But it's just it's a cute card, but it's just not doing enough for me to go into A S tier. So yeah. And I do like how it's kind of going in a troop. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Jungle Book, if you guys remember that, where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe that kind of thing going on. And oh no, says Luna. And she's probably going to be laughing right now. But yes, so not sorry. All right, Vibrava, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you right off the bat, not a favorite of mine. So that's going to hurt it. I'm not like hyped about this card. I'm not like, oh my God, I got to get the Vibrava. Like, no. So yeah. It's a little, the card also is, it's a bit stale to me. The pose is a little safe. It's just, oh, let's just put a bug on a branch and then make a blurry background. Like, it just feels very safe and boring to me. And it's not bad. It's not a bad card. It's just, it's very safe. Very, very, it's not lazy. I can see that the artist put time into this. There's the foreground, like leaves, like in the bottom part of the image, you see like those detailed leaves. There's the detailed leaves above the Vibrava. There's all that texture on the bark and everything on the branch that this Vibrava is sitting on. So I'm giving points to the artist for all this little details and time and the blurred background. I'm giving them props for that. It's just, it feels too safe to me. It just feels like, oh, let's just put it on a branch, as I said. So for that reason, I'm personally going to put it in the C tier. Do I think it's better than the Larvesta? I do think it's a little bit better than Larvesta, but I actually am going to put it, I think the Cetitan is a little bit better, at least. So I'm kind of putting it in there, in between the Larvesta and the Cetitan right now. And that's where we're going to go for it. All right. You guys were saying B, D, C, and C minus. Okay, got it. All right. Clobopus. Okay, so I know you're going to say, I actually like this style because it's used throughout the card image. While I was having a little bit of a problem with the Fampi card because part of the image had like the thicker lines and other parts of the image had like the thinner lines, which kind of like throws off my artistic mind here is like, okay, either stick with one or do the other or go full bore. Like this card at least did full bore. I'm not crazy about it, but at least I have a little bit more respect for it. Colors are great. I do like the kind of thick, chunky lines. Like it can sometimes work. It kind of reminds me of like the thicker, chunkier lines of like the Mew card. Me personally, my gut is right now telling me to put it in B. So I'm putting it in B tier. Do I think it's better than the Shinotic though? No. It's a little bit low B tier. I like there's so much going on here, right? There's little things I could pick out like, oh, this Clobopus is doing this and this Clobopus is breaking open those, I don't know, those cantaloupes or those coconuts in the top corner. And this Clobopus is like, I don't know, banging a drum here. And this Clobopus is like on the seabed looking for food. So yeah, this makes me think of the sushi card from a past set. It's a B for me as well, says Kevin. B, Luna. I like this one B in my opinion. Yeah, so we're kind of all along the same for this one. So, I mean, like, it's not like, whoa, love this card, but like, I do like a lot of the stuff going on here. It's a fun card to me. So, it's a fun card. There we go. All right. Doug Trio, Alolan Doug Trio. Why? 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 I'm gonna put it in D tier. Why? I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. And again, I'm gonna say that a lot during tonight's stream. I just am... I do appreciate that the artist had some cool ideas with the colors, like these flat pop. These colors do pop really nicely on this card. It's just very blah to me. It's just very safe. Like, always just a Doug Trio. Like, isn't there anything we can do with the Doug Trio to make it more fun? Like, what if this Doug Trio was like more by the shoreline or watching a surfer, or like maybe it was helping, or it was like giving a surfboard to like a surfer, like somebody there. Or I just give it something. It's just like, let's just put it there. And it's kind of Doug Trio. It's Doug Trio's own fault because of its design. And I really think like whichever artist got this, whoever this artist is, had a thankless task, because it's like, hey, you got to do Doug Trio, or like the Wiglet. It's like, oh great, what do I do? Because they're stuck in a rock, or this one's stuck in the soil. Like, it's so... I don't blame the artist really much for this because they got stuck with this Doug Trio. But it's still a D for me. Cactus, finally, I see you live, says Cookies. Cookies, welcome in. Oh, Cookies, you didn't have to gift a membership. We're just chilling here. We're just having an art ranking stream. I'll go full screen here real quick for Cookies, though. Cookies, thank you for the gifted membership. And that went out to Get You. Hold on, I just hit my mic a little bit there. But get you if you pop in here. Your membership was gifted by Cookies. All right. So for me, it's a D. Hold on. Oop, I clicked away. Oh, no. Hold on. I hit the wrong one. Here we go. There we go. All right. So we're back. We're back. All right. But I appreciate you again, Cookies. If we could drop some cookies in the chat for those of you that are here. We probably have a small audience here tonight. I know these are not like the most hype streams to watch, but I like talking about art. I work with artists. I deal with artists, and we sometimes there's problems, and we have to work through solutions together. So I enjoy working with artists a lot with what I do. So yeah, it's awesome. And thank you for all the cookies. I see Kevin Rena's dropping some cookies. Rena's getting a shout out from Cookies. Love it. All right. The Skarmory. I really, really, really like this Skarmory. I love the vibe of this card. I love how it feels like there's those VW buses from like the 60s. I love the sky. I love the painterly feel of this. Like this kind of feels like painterly styles I've seen from like classic American painters from like 40, 50 years ago. I really do get those kind of old painterly vibes from this. It kind of, I almost get like a Route 66 vibe from this card as well. I really, really do enjoy this card. I think it's great. And for that reason, I'm actually putting it, I actually really like it. Do I think it's better? For me, I like it more than even the Latios. I'm not sorry. I really like it a lot. I do. Composition's great, color's great, the painterly texture style is great. The metallic like painterly effect of those cars is fantastic. I really like it a lot. I really do. So yeah. This is a chase for me since Kimberly Clark. So see, this is one of those cards that's gonna I know people have various opinions about. I'm not a fan of people are gonna say I'm not a fan of Skarmory, or I don't really like the style or the colors, or I do understand there's one thing that keeps it for me from getting like S tier is because it is very much all the same three colors. There's like blue, there's tan, and there's white. That's it. There's like blue, tan, and white, and various shades of those three colors. That's about it. And I know some of you are going to say, well, Cactus, actually, there's a little bit of green in the background if you look. And it's like, yeah, like a very, 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 very little bit of that. But, you know, it's basically just gray, blue, and tan. And the blue, or the gray, white, blue, tan. So those basically kind of those four colors, but you can kind of make gray. You don't even really need to make gray because you can mix like the blue and white to get the color you want. So anyway, it's A tier for me. I see some people, Luna said C, so Luna did not like this as much. And Luna, you pulled this tonight, so you can actually look at it closer. I thought it was a very beautiful card. A for Rena. Cookies says, shout out Kevin. Kevin says S. I don't actually like this card as much in person, says Dardar. Oh, okay, so maybe I won't like it as much in person, so, okay. But definitely I wouldn't be upset if I pulled this card if it was like one of the art rares I pulled out of one of my earlier sets. So yeah, for sure. All right. Let's go to the next one. The Flapple. I've seen this pulled a few times already. I'm not a huge Flapple fan. I'm not a huge, all the Applemon Pokemon fan. I do like the colors of this. It also kind of has like a watercolor feel to it, just like that Executor had. I wouldn't be surprised if the same artist did both. Probably not. I mean, or I could check after the stream because I can't. It's going to be too confusing to try to flip back and go back to that right now. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're the same artist. But just for me, guys, it's not one of my faves. I do wish that Pokemon would give attention and to other Pokemon. There's so many other Pokemon they could do. So I'm not really a huge fan of this, but I got to give props for the colors, for the background. The Pokemon looks good. So it's a C tier for me. Do I think it's better than Larvesta? Do I think it's better than Larvesta? Yes. Do I think it's better than Vibrava? Yes. Do I think it's better than Cetitan? No. So I'm putting it up in here for now, right ahead of Vibrava, okay? Looks like some people said, looks like some people agreed. CC, Dardar, Weehud. Is Dardar coming in here? Oh, Dardar shouting out cookies as well. Got you. A is for Apple. Yes, that is correct, Kevin. Cookie says, I love every card. You can't love every card. There's got to be some cards you don't love as much as the others. Aha. All right. Next one, the Appleton. Again, these Apple Pokemon always getting more attention and whatever and blah, blah, blah. So I'm just going to cut to the chase here. I'm not going to spend much time on this. Basically, for all the same reasons I just gave. I do appreciate the texture on, like, the apples has great lighting, the grass, the sand, the dirt path that it's on, the little bit of like blades of grass you can see here. They're kind of chunky style grass, but it's still there. The detail on the crates of these apples or whatever these are in the background. Well, it's apples, obviously. I don't know why I said that. I'm gonna give it C tier as well. I'm gonna put it with Flapple, but I think I kind of like this a little bit more. I like this more than Flapple because at least there's kind of it's a little more interesting to me here with everything that's going on. So I like this more. So Rena says C. Yeah, I'm putting it in C right next to Flapple here, so they can hold hands together in that part of the tier list. So I feel like we've had that card before. Yeah, Sven, exactly. Roche. What did he say?
What did he say?
I said Roche. Hello, you crazy prickly pear. Yes, I am crazy. I'm not a prickly pear, but I am a cactus. So there you go. And I know you're going to say, well, there is a prickly pear cactus. And you're right, for sure. All right, so let's go to the next one. Slackoth. C? I actually think you're being generous, Luna. This is one of the times where I think you're being generous. It's a funny card. It's fun, but it's so plain. And I get it. Oh, like he's slacking off in like a grassy field. Just like, you can see like he's almost asleep with his eyes open because you see those little like snot bubbles or whatever like above his head. I don't know. I'm just very much like I'm not gonna give it an F. I was very close to giving it an F tier, but I can't even give it higher than Bruxish. It's just very blah. Very blah. So I'm this close to giving it an like F tier because it's so plain to me. It's too easy. It's just like, oh, I threw some green down, I did some shadows of some trees, and then I did some little like squibbles on the card to simulate like blades of grass, and then I just put the Slackoth right in the middle, and I called it a day. And there's even one flower and like three clovers. You see one on the top left, one on the right side, and one in the bottom left corner. I'm like, come on, guys. What, you don't like the Jinx fish, says Roche? Yes, I don't like the Jinx fish, Roche. Kevin says D. C for fun, says cardboard. It's a whack card, says cookies. Yeah. So, all right, let's move on. The Kecleon. Am I crazy if I tell you guys I like the Kecleon? I think it's fun. I like the colors. Do I think it's S or A tier? No. Do I think it earns a spot in a B tier? I could see it. I'm gonna fight for it for B tier here. I'm gonna put it above. I actually kind of like it a little bit more than Clobopus. Do I like it more than Shinotic? I think I like it do I like that more than Shinotic? Shinotic? Am I saying that right? I'm gonna put it a little bit higher than Shinotic because I love the colors in this. The colors are fun. It's almost like Where's Waldo with all the little chameleons in this image. There's like, oh look, there's a chameleon there. Oh, there's a chameleon there. Oh, there's another one in the back on the left side. Oh, there's the pink one in the back behind him. It's a very fun kind of tropical, whimsical card. So I have fun with it. I like it. I like how the tail is so swirly. I don't know. It's a very fun card. So yeah, I don't know. I have fun with this card. So I like the colors. I like how the colors, they just use flat colors. There's a little bit of minor shading here and there, but for the most part, they use flat colors to give it the depth here. I don't know. I like it. I could almost see this as like being, I could almost see this kind of artwork as being on card sleeves. That's how fun it is for me. So yeah, guys, I see what you guys are saying. I see B and I see A. It's very close to me for an A, but it just, I feel like it would really have to really push the envelope further for me to really give it that A tier ranking for me personally. So yeah, I pulled that one, so I'm biased, but gotta say A. Okay, Mike, I see. All right, so we got the bias coming in here, but I'm leaving in B, you guys. It's B for me, like mid B, whatever. So yes, I still love it though. It's a great card, fantastic. All right, Braviary. I really, really, really like this card. I really do. I like it a lot. You know what? I'm going to say I might maybe... I actually, as much as I love Cerulege, I gotta give props. The artwork for this is, I think, fantastic. I'm gonna give, this is another one of those rare art rares, regular art rares, where it gets an S tier from me. I love kind of this feels very much like, if you've ever worked with oil pastels before, it feels very much like oil pastels with some kind of like, you know, and like I love all the blending, and it feels very chaotic, and the sun and the sky kind of reminds me of Vincent van Gogh and how he did his suns with all those like swirls and swirls of color. I already see you guys are disagreeing with me on this, A's and B's, but for me, I'm putting it really high. I know S tier. I know Roche is like, what? Yes, I really like it a lot. I really love it a lot. I love the colors. I just... It pops for me too, like because like the body of it, like they did such a great darker color, and then the wings are such that vibrant scarlet pop of red. The wing to me almost pops off the image, like it's coming at me, and then I don't know. I love the chaos of the trees and everything. I like it a lot. I know you guys are saying strong A. We're gonna agree to disagree a little bit on this. Some people are like strong A, Cactus. And, you know, maybe, and you know what, I'm not saying I could move this. There have been times in the past, guys, with these art ranking streams, I have moved my cards around. So I could say, you know what, later on, as I get into the SARs and whatnot, I could say, you know what, you guys are right. I'm going to move this down. But for right now, for me, I'm putting an S tier. I think it's great. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. For all those reasons. I mean, look in even the detail on its face, in the eyes, on its talons. It's just great. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, we're getting into full arts. I want to be clear about this again. With full arts and gold cards, I automatically started at the C tier. It starts at the C tier, and then I have to say to myself, has this artist or this background, does it help it do enough to push it into B tier? Possibly A tier. But for the most times, full arts and gold cards are going to be probably like C, B, or D tier, and sometimes even F if it's like just a Pokemon I hate, or like the color. I just feel like they did a horrible color choice. So for me personally, again, let's just start off. I'm going to drag it up to C, and I have to say to myself, does the green and the sparkle pattern really work for this Durant? I don't think it does. Do I think it goes down? Yes. Now, do I think it goes down to an F? No, I don't think that at all. So I have to decide. And again, I don't hate this card, by the way. Like, just because I'm putting it in D, like, I don't like, oh my god, I absolutely hate this card. I'm just saying it just feels like the color choice was wrong. I feel like if they had done something else, like imagine if they'd done like a coppery bronze to, like, because it's an ant, for God's sakes. You know, like, maybe that would have helped it pop more, which could have pushed it into B tier. And maybe if they had done more of like a soily texture pattern in the background and not this kind of like glittery like pattern or whatever, that would have helped push it into B tier. But I just feel like the pattern choice was a mistake and the color choice was a mistake. I understand that the green color matches with its type because it's grass type, but I just think that that was a mistake. So I'm putting it down here. Do I think it's better than the Slakoth? I think it's a little bit better than Slakoth. I mean, I don't know. Slakoth is so lazy to me. I can't reward that. Yo, we got Nick. Give it the D, says Mike. No, D, F, says Reina. Nikki, by the way, hold on. Let me go full screen here for Nikki real quick. Nikki says 6-month membership renewal anniversary. I don't know why I can't talk. Actually been longer. Found you New Year's Eve. That's right. It's been a while. But thank you for the 6 months. 6 months. I'm sorry, I had to, says Mike. Yes. C for me, a lot of Beatles. Yeah, it's definitely bland. And then Nikki's getting a shout out from all these legends in here. And Roche is laughing at me. Yes, we said it. All right, let's go to the next one. Next full art. Scovalin. Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, now, even though I do like the background color for this because it does help it pop, this orangey color helps the Scovalin pop. But do I feel like that pushes it higher into the B tier? Does it do enough? I don't think so. I think for me personally, wow, some people are already saying, like, Rena was like, it's D. Rena was ready for this. Rena was ready for this. Like, me personally, do I think it, like, I gotta give props. At least the color helps it pop. I'm gonna put it low. I'm gonna put it low C tier. We're talking like C minus. It's like almost D tier. I'm putting it in C minus. It's even below the Larvesta, okay? So I'm putting it in low C tier here for me. I do like the color. I think that helps it pop. I'm not crazy about the swirl pattern, and that's what brings it very close to a D tier. But I do like the color for this. I do like the color for this. So, yeah. And that's, I mean, and guys, really, there's not much I can talk about with these full arts besides like the border color, the background color, and the background design for these full arts. So there's really not much artistically I can really talk about with you guys for these. So it's really just, does it get a C, a D, or a B, or if it's really, really bad, an F, right? Yeah. So anyway. All right. Milotic. I really enjoy this Milotic full art. I have seen this pulled on camera in person. I think it's great. I think it moves up to at least a B tier for me. Now, I think the blue really helps it pop. Really gives it, and some people might say, well, Cactus, the blue also is actually maybe not a great choice because it blends in with a tail a little bit too much, and I do agree with you there. However, if you look at the blue, there's kind of like all these circular patterns, which kind of reminds me of like bubbles, like under the sea kind of thing. So I do appreciate that. I don't think Luna, I see what you're saying. I just don't feel like I can push it. I don't feel like it's earned its way up to an A tier. Like A tier would be like the color for this full art is flawless. The background texture is perfect. I just think that maybe if it was a slightly even darker blue color, it would have helped the Milotic pop a little bit more because the color is so similar to the blue of its tail that kind of pulls it back a little bit for me. So for me personally, I give it a low B below the Clobopus, okay? Below the Clobopus, it's like B minus for me. Like B minus, okay? So yeah, looks like Rocher's like, no, it's a C. All right. Sven says C. Ben, welcome in, by the way. Pokezonan's coming in here. No spam, please. But Luna was very passionate about the Milotic, guys. Very passionate. All right. Which, by the way, guys, I'd rather have a conversation with a passionate person than someone who's just like, I'd give it like a B. you know what I'm saying. Oh, the Black Kyurem. I have seen this also pulled, I believe, one time. Black Kyurem is not one of my favorite Pokemon there, so there's my personal bias coming in. Not a fave. Not like my, oh my god, Black Kyurem. I wasn't a huge black-white fan. It just wasn't my jam. I do like the colors of this though. I do like the Black Kyurem, the black with like the light blue with the kind of turquoisey mix of blue. And then the background, see, this background has more of that darker sapphire blue that helps that pop a little bit more. And the background also has this kind of like swoosh effect, like someone took a paintbrush and went like almost like really roughly kind of, it feels like I'm in the middle of a storm. So at least the texture of the background feels like there's like is there like a storm going on and you see all the lightning effect and everything. So personally, I do like it a lot. Do I think it's better than a C? Yes. Do I think it's better than a B? No. Do I think it goes higher in the B tier? Yes. Better than Milotic, yes. Better than Clobopus. Better than Clobopus. I don't know. Guys, I'm going to kind of leave it right down there. That's not to say it's bad. I just feel like I'm going to leave it right there. Right there above the Milotic, right there. Yeah. I'm seeing one full art. That's one full art. I give a B, high B. I personally think I'd give it an A, Cactus, says Kevin. I can see where you guys are saying. Again, there are some times where my personal bias will come in here. So make your list, share it, check it twice, and then share it. And then share it. All right. We're almost halfway here, halfway through, guys. We still got quite a bit to go, so I might have to speed up here because we're almost an hour through, and I said I tried to keep this to about 90 minutes or 2 hours, so we gotta go. The Pikachu full art terrestrialized. This I actually kind of prefer the full art and the gold to the SAR. I'm not as crazy about the SAR, like spoiler alert, and I know it's worth it's going to be worth like $300 or $400 or God knows what at this point because the booster box prices are going absolutely. Anyway, I do like this full art a lot, and even though I'm not crazy about the Terra hype, the Terra hat, whatever. Just like let's look past that for a brief moment. I do like the card a lot. I think the texture helps it pop. It's really glittery. It's really pretty. This full art is better than the SAR. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely one of those people with the opinion that the SAR is definitely a little bit of a letdown. So. Yeah, when we get to that SAR, I know people are going to be like, what? All right. So, do I think it's better than C tier? Yes. Do I think it's better than B tier? I put this card up there. I think it's great. I'm going to put it is it better than Feebas? Yes. Is it better than Spheal? Yes. Is it better than Castform? Yes. Is it better than the Latios? I don't know. I don't think so. I think I'm going to put it right in here. So it's kind of, right now it's in the middle of A tier. So I'm going to put it right there. Okay. So colors are good. I like it. There we go. Let's move on. Oh, hold on. I stopped. Whoops. Hold on. I stopped. Why did it do that? No. I got to go through now. I hate when it does this. I accidentally hit the stop button. You guys just give me 1 second. I got to quickly go through these. We're going to quickly rush through. Was totally let down when the art was revealed, says Roche. Yeah, I do wish the art was a little bit better for that. They could have really blown us out of the park with that artwork. All right, Latias. Is it better than C tier? Yes. Is it better than B tier? I'm gonna put it right there. It's better than C tier. Is it better than the Kyurem though? No. So that's why I'm putting it right there. I think it's a little bit better than the Milotic because the colors help it pop a little bit more. Hey, I pulled that one. Yeah, you pulled that one too, Luna. You pulled a lot from your box tonight. That box was, even though you were 1 card below the average. I think the average is about 14. But you had a lot of good hits in that box. So, yeah. But for me, guys, the Latias, I do like the green. I do like the swirly effect. It feels like it's almost coming through like a wormhole. So, very cool. Latias, great colors, great effect in the background. I love the color of the background. I like it. So, it's low B tier for me, but still, I like it. All right. Pile of sand. Fantastic. Guess what? You're going in the F tier. You see it down there, guys? You see it down there? Why does the pile of sand get a freaking Terra whatever hat card? I don't like it. It gets an F tier for me. By the way, we got Raiders coming in here. Hold on. I'm going to go full screen here. Welcome in, Raiders. Mewtwo's apparently rating us right now. Guys, unfortunately, not really opening anything right now. This is one of my art review ranking streams where I go through all the artwork from Surging Sparks, and I'm ranking it on my tier list. If you want to make your own tier list, feel free to click the link at the top of the chat. I made the tier maker list available to anyone in the community that wants to... I also just realized my shirt is covered in stuff. I made it available to all you guys if you want to make your own list. So yes, welcome in. Just Pika, welcome in. Any other Raiders, welcome in. If I miss you, I apologize. But we're just gonna keep going here. We're talking about artwork, and we got to give them rankings. And yes, please smash that like button on your way in. We're here for it, bro. Like up the Raiders. Yes, like it up. Smash that like button. But the Palisand is an F. And I'm not gonna. I don't really. Do I need to explain? I don't think I need to explain, right? Okay, good. I don't need to explain why that gets an F on my list. Okay. Flygon. 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 I do like the colors of this. I've seen it pulled. It has a nice pop to it. I'm just kind of like... I'm not a huge Flygon fan, though. I'm gonna put it in my C tier, right above. I think it's better than Scovillain. I'm gonna put it in my B tier. So that's not horrible. It's just Flygon is okay. It's okay. And I see some of you already said. Wait, did Rena say B for that, or did she say B for the other thing? Well, I see Kimberly. Kimberly says D. Roche says D. Kevin says C. Mewtwo Raid, welcome in. Pokecrush. Bells, welcome in. Palisand is definitely an F. Yes, definitely an F for Palisand. I pulled that one too. Yes, you did. I think I like it. I think I'd give it a B. Well, I'm giving it a C, so we're close, but I just don't. It's okay. It's all right. But let's keep going, because full arts aren't very as exciting for me to talk about. No, I thought. Who did I watch tonight that pulled this? I feel like I've seen 2 or 3 of these pulled tonight, like before I even started my stream. Are you sure you didn't pull this one, Luna? I know you pulled one of these. Yeah, you pulled this one. I don't think you pulled... So you were getting confused. You didn't pull the Flygon too, right? Out of your box? I'm pretty sure you pulled this one. This one is better to me, though. I mean, look at the rainbow effect. I think it's great. Did you pull a lot of them, Luna? Blue Rose? Yeah. For me, I do like this one a lot. I like the colors of this. The Hydreigon looks fantastic. So it's actually one of my more favorite full arts of the Terra types. So I'm going to put it... Does it go above here? Yes. Does it go above Latias? Yes. Above the Kyurem? Yes. Do I like it above the Clobbopus? Yes. Do I like it above Shiinotic? Yes. You know what? I'm going to put it right here. I don't think I like it better than Kecleon, but I kind of like it better than the Shiinotic and the Clobbopus. I'm going to put it right in here. I like it. I know it's not a lot of people's favorites, but I was really kind of pleasantly surprised by this full art. So, yeah. I pulled the Flygon and the Hydreigon. Oh my god, you guys. Look at... Luna's like... I pulled both, fam, out of my box. So, yeah. Electric Knight saying, I agree. I think it's a good card, to be honest. Yeah. It's a very pretty card, I think. I like the Flygon way better than the Hydreigon. Okay, I see what you mean, and we're gonna differ there. That's okay. That's okay. So, all right, let's go to the next one. The PS5, the Archaludon full art. Oh my god, we're gonna have a lot of people say. There's gonna be a lot of people who have very mixed feelings about I almost said Hydreigon. Archaludon. Okay, Luna, make sure you don't spam. Archaludon. Wow, you guys are like F though. Both you ladies are like F. Jeez, okay, that's harsh. You ladies are harsh. For me personally, I got to do what I say. I got to start off at C. Do I think it works its way up into a B? No. Do I think it's worse than a C tier though? What's lower than an F? I don't know. I'm gonna put it next to our good friend Durant down here in D. So it's not the most exciting thing, but I gotta give some props because I do think the color of the background, that nice yellow, does help it pop. So it's not F tier for me, but I got to give it a little something because I think the colors do help it kind of pop at least a little bit to make it a little bit more interesting, shall we say. So, yeah. Luna's like mad. I want that, and I want to give that an F tier. No! That's what she's saying in Discord right now. All right. Electric Knight. I'm sorry. I don't like it. I don't like it. It gets an F tier for me, guys. I've never really been a fan of Alolan Executor. This is my personal bias is rearing its ugly head right now. So I don't really like Alolan Executor. This is a nice card, kind of. I just don't think I don't think it saves it. I'm sorry. And I don't think there's really much they could have done to save it for me. So it gets an F tier for me. Not sorry. So I'm just going to move on. Alolan Executor, bye-bye. Tatsugiri. I do like the colors of this. The Tatsugiri, like with the orange and the kind of light orange. And it kind of looks cute. Like looking at us like it's pissed off or it's angry. I'm going to put it with its buddy here before I even look at the chat. Don't want to look at the chat. I'm going to put it in with the Flygon here in the C tier. Because, again, that's where full art start off at. And I think it's just like C. I think it looks great. It looks nice, but it's just going to get a kind of a C rank for me. And it looks like most of you guys agree anyway. I'm seeing C, 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 C. It looks like everyone's like, yeah, it's a C. Whatever, the fish. Well, technically, it is a dragon type. I did have to double check that. It's technically dragon type first, then water. And I think a lot of people get it confused. Like, I think they think that Tatsugiri evolves into Dondozo, but it does not. Just because the game shows, like, Dondozo using, like, Tatsugiri kind of like, as, like, a lure, people thought, like, they're evolutionarily, like, connected, but they're not. So, yeah. Slacking. I don't guess what? It's higher in the F tier. I don't like Slacking. And if you pull this card in your box or from your triple blister this weekend or from your first couple packs, whatever it might be, a sleeve booster, I don't care. Whatever you pull this from, if it happens to be one of your first hits out of the set, I feel very sorry for you because I would be like, oh, really? I get the Slacking? I would rather pull the Durant or the Archaludon full art than this card. Okay, so yeah, the problem is Cactus, the big hats, I don't like, but it suits certain artworks. Correct, Kevin. I would agree with that. Yeah, so, and then we all know now because of those Pokemon leaks, there's some really dark stuff about Slacking. So let's just move on. Don't even look it up. All right, Cyclizar. Cyclizar is fine. It's not F tier. It's not D tier for me. I would probably also, right now my gut is telling me C tier. I'm not like in love with this card to give it like kind of like that thumbs up to put into B tier. So for me personally, I'm going to put it with its other buddies here in the C tier. I think it's better than Scovillain. It's going to kind of go with these three, like the trio, the three amigos right here. So that's not bad. It's just like, it's fine. The Cyclizar is fine. If you pull it, I wouldn't be too upset with pulling the Cyclizar. I think it's a decent full art, Terra full art, whatever. So, Just Pika says F, LOL. Kevin says F. Wow, Rena's like C. Kevin says middle C. It's not the best though. Okay, so we're definitely having some divergence here with our feelings about Cyclizar, but I'm okay with Cyclizar. It's fine. Okay, we're getting into full art trainers. Now, full art trainers can be also kind of tough because Clement's Quick Wit. Does Clement's Quick Wit... Again, the trainer's also going to start off at the C ranking. I don't know, guys. I'm not super crazy about Clement's Quick Wit. I do like the colors. I do like how behind Clement they have these like... They look like tubes of like electrical energy or something going on here, like, or maybe he's in a power plant. I don't really remember much about Clement. If you guys are going to tell me like, oh, remember he's this battle gym leader or whatever, I don't really remember him. Honest to God. So, it's kind of mid. It's kind of mid to me. Do I think it's more interesting than the Terastallized types? Yes. Do I think it's better than the Larvesta? Honestly, Honestly, not really. I'm kind of blasé about this card. Do I like the background? It's interesting, but there's really not a lot going on back there. So I'm giving it kind of like middle C right in here, if you guys can see here on my screen. So middle C for me, and yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm seeing C, 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 B, middle C, C. Okay, got it. So we're kind of all in the same camp for that. I love this card, honestly, but I love XY series. I got you, Marshall. Oh, by the way, Marshall, welcome in. I don't know if I missed you before. Cyrano, or is it Cyrano, or is it Cyrano? I'm probably sure it's Cyrano. It's not Cyrano. That's not it. It's definitely Cyrano or Cyrano. I think it's Cyrano. I'm not a huge fan of his. The background's kind of blah. It looks like it's just like the corner of a Pokemon Center or some kind of meeting place. So that's a little bit boring to me personally. I do like how, I mean, look, the background could have been more boring. It's definitely not an F tier, but it's a little blasé. Cyrano or Serrano. I'm actually gonna give him high D tier. I feel like they could have done more for him. I feel like I do agree with kind of what Dar. I think I kind of agree with your sentiments where you said they did him dirty. I think if I was working with this artist, I would have said, I think it says Akira somebody Komiyama. I would have said, Komiyama-san, art to the artist, can we do something a little bit more for Cyrano here? It just feels a little bit too safe. So yeah, they took the pose from Michael Jackson. Maybe. Yeah, it does feel very Michael Jackson-ish. That's where that also kind of ruins it for me, because that tells me it's a little bit like, oh, let's just use this Michael Jackson pose in front of a generic, Pokemon Center. There's the booth in the background. Okay, great, fantastic. And we're going to move on. He's a really cool guy in the games, and he's got a lot more flair. Yeah, okay. So I don't really remember him too much, but it sounds like as if they did him dirty. So yeah, he could have been better. Drasna. I do feel like I do remember Drasna. Drasna, I do like her colors. I do like the purples in the background, and she's in front of this doorway or whatever, and these vases here, right? The vases. Is that how, am I saying that correctly? I do like it. I do like, I don't know, it just feels fun. The colors really pop for her. I'm glad they chose a really rich, royal purple color in the background. Really helps her stand out. I'm gonna give her I'm gonna give her B. Is she better than these full arts? Yes. Is she better than Clobbopus? I think she's right below Hydreigon for me personally. So I'm gonna give her kind of mid B tier. She's right in here for me, if you guys see that. So I do like this. I'm gonna give her props, the artist props, for the colors. The line work is great. So she's a mid B for me, guys. And it looks like most of you guys are saying Drasna is another D for me. It's not doing it for me, says Marshall. I get that. I see what you mean. But I'm gonna put her in B tier, middle B. It's whatever. And there's no being wrong here, Marshall, because art is subjective. So yeah, you can put in, it is what you think. That's why you guys can make your own charts again later if you want to. That's why I left that link available in the top of the chat if you guys want to do that for your own time, if you just want to have fun with it. Drayton. I actually, before I say anything, not super familiar with Drayton. I do really like the background for this. The mountains. This artist, Ghidorah, illustrations by Ghidorah, all caps. The mountain background, so whoever did this definitely took a little bit more time to do some nice details with the mountains and the sky, and even the snow texture right behind him. You can see the highlights and shadows. They could have just been but for a regular full art, I actually kind of like it. I kind of put it up there with Drasna. Am I amazed by it? No, but I like it. So I'm going to put Drayton up there with it's going to be up there with Drasna. Kind of, I like Drasna a little bit more because I think her colors there's something about those colors in hers that really, really pop nicely. But I'm going to put Drayton right next to her up there. So, yeah. Top C for me, Mr. Toothpaste. Mr. Toothpaste, because of the crest, like the crest swirl of the front cowlick or the front like bang thing. Yeah, I got you. Mr. Toothpaste, I like that. Oh, excuse me. All right, we're getting into Jasmine's Gaze. Now, spoiler alert, I saw this card. Mike just pulled this card. PBM just pulled this card here tonight when we were opening up some packs in the Discord. So I got a closer look at this full art. I think it's great. Do I think it's like A, S tier? No, for a regular full art. I also feel like a lot of times I end up kind of grouping a lot of cards together because I feel like they're all very similar and a certain level to them. I want to put Jasmine also with these other two in the B tier. Now, out of the three, I want to say, I actually think I like Jasmine like a smidgen more than Dragona, like very small amount, because I've seen the Jasmine very super close up. I want to say I put her a little bit above the Dragona in B tier for me. So these three are kind of all next to each other in terms of their quality, the colors, background, yada yada yada, and their desirability for me. I'm putting them up here. So mid to B tier rank here for me. All right, let's go into the next one. Okay, so for the Lycia's Appeal, this is one of the few times I'll put a full art trainer actually in. I think this deserves to go in A tier. Before I even look at chat, I think it's going to be low A tier for me. I've seen this card. The colors are great. The background's great with all the lights and everything going on. The lens flare. I think whoever did this for this full art did a really great job. I think it's really, there's a lot of energy to this card. I think it deserves an A tier. I'm just putting it low A tier, but I think it deserves A tier for sure. I just got to give props to it. You know what would be cool? But this would have been confusing to the people who were going for the SAR. If the Altaria or something else was in this card, it's almost possible that this full art maybe could have gotten even higher in A ranking or even S tier. But it just feels like it just squeaked its way up to an A tier, but it's just missing something. It needed something else to kind of give it more something. You know, like an Altair, like something. It needed something else, is all I'm going to say. High B, maybe A. Dardar says, I pulled this one today. Rena says A. Marshall A. I almost say S, but not quite there. The blues are so vibrant. A Swablu in there. Yeah, I mean, imagine... That's a good point. Imagine if this Lycia was with a Swablu, and then the SIR was like, oh, that Swablu evolved, because now it's like, you know, it's her next performance, and her Swablu evolved into Altaria. Like, that'd be cool if there was like a story kind of maybe behind it, you know. So, you know, again, now I'm just like pontificating or whatever the word is. No, I don't think that's the right word. Yeah, anyway. Why did they do my surfer bro so dirty? Why did they do him dirty? They did him dirty just like Cyrano. I don't think the surfer guy here is an F tier. I think that's too quick to judge. But I feel like they did him dirty just like Cyrano. I feel like they did. I do like the colors of this. I like the background. I like the clouds. I like the sea. If you look in the back, you can see like the sea and the waves, how the waves are cresting with like the white frothiness of the waves and everything. And I like the palm tree. There's even details, like little details on the palm trees in the background. So I appreciate that this artist was doing all these things and doing all that. But it's just like, I feel like it's too close to him. Like, I feel like could we have taken the camera out maybe like another foot or two, just a little, pull the camera back a little bit more, just a little bit. I want to see more of the background. So I'm sorry, Surfer, but you go down with Cyrano down here. And I think the Cyrano is just a little bit better, so it's down with here. And I feel bad because it's like these Manfus got the short end of the stick. So, yeah. I wish there was a bigger wave in the background, like show us where he's going in the future. Yeah, and I understand like most of these full art regulars have to be like more like portrait style shots. I get it, but there still could have been, it needed like the wave. Just like that, just like the Lycia needed something, this needed something that it could have pushed this up into a C tier or even possibly the B tier for me. Like in terms of like, oh, like I actually kind of like that card, but now I'm kind of like, it's just very boring. So yeah, let's keep going. The Durant. Now, we're going to be very split on this card. There's going to be some people that are going to love this card. Some people are kind of meh. I am in the kind of meh camp for this card. I understand that you guys are going to say, but it's a very cool thing. You could like get multiple of these SIRs and line them up together and they kind of connect. But I feel like because they did that little shtick for this card, it hurt the card. Like it hurt the composition. Like my feelings about the card are not great because it's like for this gimmick of, oh, like if you line them up, they connect with each other. Haha, isn't that cool? Yeah, it's cool, but it like it definitely then hurts the overall artistic whatever of the card. Like there's no depth to this card. It's so flat, it's so dull, it's so boring. Like the lines are super chunky. There's like it's just like there's no depth of field to this image. Like the artist could have at least tried to like make some sort of like I could see more of the depth of field of this. Oh, like the ants or what if the ants were like going in like a curved pattern and going from and multiple paths of these ants. What if one ant path was going this way to the top left of the card, and then the next card it connects and goes like up like this, but there's another trail that Durant's going this way and it goes off like that, and they're all connecting more interestingly. But it's just like, oh, they just connect like this. Wow. Whoop-de freaking do. So it's not an F tier for me, guys, and some people might be upset about this, like if they rewatch this later, if they're not here in today's stream, but it's D tier for me. I'm frustratingly disappointed by this card because I feel like it could have been great, and I'm not even a huge Durant fan, clearly, because the other Durant full art is in D tier as well, but there could have been, this card had the potential to be amazing, but I feel like they just did like another what's that Ice Cube card from Obsidian Flames, you know, where it's just like kind of like floating in the air and there's like some ice underneath it. I'm like, I feel the same way about that card that I feel for this card. It's just like I'm frustrated by how the potential of what this could have been, if that yeah. Is this how many insects is that, Cactus? It's a lot of insects. So, yeah. It's okay. Maybe another insect low D. I'm also in the meh category, but the gimmick is neat. It's a neat gimmick, but it like, okay, if you're going to go for this gimmick, like give me more, like go balls to the wall with this. But then like they went, oh, let's do the gimmick. And then they're like, let's forget about the background. Let's just throw some color in there. Like, come on. Yeah. Oh my God. I got to tell you, I have so warmed up to this card. I was very leery at first when I saw this Milotic. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but I have to tell you, I have really, really quickly warmed up to this card. I think, I'm not even looking in the chat. I think Luna's spamming. I'm pretty sure I know what she's spamming. But I got to say, I have really warmed up to this card. I think in person, it's stunning. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it deserves like to be in the S tier. It is just fantastic. Composition's great. The colors, the like the splattering of like that like the glittery like white effect, all the plant life and everything in the under the water and like the crest of the waves. It's just, Luna, how do you feel about this card? Says Marshall. Exactly. Like I knew what she was doing. But yes, I have definitely warmed up to this card because if you had asked me maybe even a month ago, I might have been like, yeah, I might have put a B plus, maybe A tier, like low A tier a month ago. But I have just seen it, and it is one of those cards where you're like, damn, that is stunning. So yeah, I think some people are going to overlook this card, and then they're going to see it, and they're going to be like, oh my God, that is absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, now it just, I'm wondering if there's going to be any playability with this card. I don't know if it has enough HP, but that ability where it says prevent all damage from and effects of attacks from your opponent's Terra type Pokemon done to this Pokemon. So I'm curious to see if this will get played or if it's decent. So because of that ability, I don't know. or maybe its attack is not strong enough because it takes 3 energy for 160 attack. That's actually a lot of energy for just 160. But then it also says your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. So, interesting. All right. Okay, we're going to be divided on this card too. We're going to be divided on this card too. I'm going to get a lot of hate mail for this. I'm going to put the Pikachu in C tier for me. It's high C tier. It's just like, again, like the Durant, we're gonna disagree on this. Like the Durant, I am very disappointed by this card. I feel like it's a lazy card. It could have been a lot better card. Now, some of you guys are gonna be like, "Well, Cactus, it don't matter. It's still gonna be a $300 or $400 card." You're right, but I'm just talking about like, and sometimes I do have a little bit. Sometimes the price might come into play here, but guys, I just got to be honest with you. This card could have been even better. Just like the Durant, it could have been absolutely phenomenal. And I'm disappointed by this. Very disappointed by this. The background is blah. It's just like, oh, there's just some grass in the foreground. And then the rest of the background is like bled out by like the light and the brightness. B.A. Marshall is a player. I'm just a collector. I got to go B, but I will say I don't like the pose. Yeah, it's like, wow, guess what? I get to look at Pikachu's butthole. And I'm sorry if you're one of my younger viewers watching me this late at night, but that's like, really? That's the pose we went with? Like, why? I don't know. I don't even really want to talk too much more about this card. I'm very disappointed by this. And again, it could have been so much better. The Latias. This is one of my biggest chases. It's up there. It's one of my biggest chases. I got to put it up there. I actually even have it a little bit higher than my my Lodic chase. I have it up there. The Latias, I think, is super, super amazing. The texture, the texture in person of this card is top tier. The colors get a boost because of the texturing effect over the Latios, which is why this is an S tier versus A tier. I mean, and the colors, look how more rich and vibrant I think the texture gives it, right? It's just, it has so much more life to it. So, interesting indeed. A for me. S. Okay, so yeah. Latias EX, love it. Big chase. Go for it, guys. Chase that card as well because it's amazing. Fantastic. Do you love it? Do you love it? Because I love it. I love it. Hi, Dragon. I have yet to see this card really pulled in person. I think maybe I came across it once, but I kind of forget. Or maybe I saw this pulled in Japanese. So maybe I do. Maybe that's how I remember seeing it. But I don't know how I feel about this card. I do like it. I like it quite a bit. I do like the colors. I think the terastallization of it really is kind of interesting. Seeing all the blues and purples and reds and pinks and maroons and the neonish kind of hues of these blues and purples as well. Excuse me. I want to say it's not. I think it is a pretty card. I actually like how the kind of pose of it is. It's kind of a little bit, because it has the multiple heads, that kind of helps with it kind of be more visually interesting. And I like the background, how it almost looks like some kind of weirdish wormhole / it almost looks, if you look behind it, almost like these galaxy clouds, like those gas clouds in the far nebulas of the galaxy. It's very trippy. And then I see these like kind of different colored stars underneath it too. I don't know if you guys noticed that before. So I'm going to put it, for me personally, I'm going to put an A tier right above, a little bit above the Lycia. Like lower A tier, but I do like it. So I think it's actually going to surprise some people that it's a very pretty card in person. I think. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing A, C, top B, or A. Luna's not happy about that. What did Luna? Luna wanted it in C. She's like, I'm mad, Cactus. I did not want it to get such a high grade. Oh, the Archaludon SIR. I'm not, spoiler alert, I'm not giving this an F tier. I'm not giving it an F. But why did they make this basically look like, this is like a full art plus. It's like, what can we do to just make a full art, but add like just a little something to it, but then just don't do anything else? So I feel like they took a full art and they just went, let's just plus it. And then, sorry for my yawn. I'm just disappointed for it because I'm putting it in D tier. I was very close to giving it a C tier, but I'm giving the Archaludon SIR a D tier because it screams laziness to me. When you're basically the artist and the full art is very similar to what you've done, that's not good. It feels like all you did was, let's just repaste the Archaludon. We're going to flip it horizontally, and then we're going to add some rocks and some like lightning effect in the background. Let's throw a rock here and a rock there and a rock there and a rock there. And we'll make them slightly different colors. And then we'll put like a big lightning bolt thing in the background. So I'm very disappointed by this. And I see people are like F tier. Rena's like F tier. Luna's like, no, F tier. So, all right. So people feel very passionately about this too. All right. Alolan Executor. Now, Luna, I know you pulled this tonight, but before you say anything, I'm not a fan. I'm sorry. I know, and I saw the colors on your card. It did look great. It looked stunning, but I'm not a fan of this card. It's just like, she's like, no, Cactus, like, it's so pretty in person, though, no! I'm like, oh my god, don't do this to me. Don't make this more difficult to me than this is. All right. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it C tier because I'm going to put it, I'm going to put it right below the Larvesta. It's kind of like mid C tier for me. So like C-ish. I'm going to give it a mid C tier. Yeah, so Rena's giving it a B. Kimberly Clark up in Nova Scotia gives it a B. Kevin says, you know what? I like the colors. Maybe a B. Well, Kevin, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm going to give it a C. But we're not too far off. It does have the Miami vibes. Like Miami Vice. It does kind of give me like the Tapu Koko vibes, but that Tapu Koko from Paradox Rift, I gave that like S tier because that was awesome, right? Like, I'm sorry, just it's an Alolan Executor. I just can't get as hyped for it. And I'm not even crazy about Tapu Koko, but that Tapu Koko knocked it out of the park with those colors and just the composition. Come on, that Tapu Koko from Paradox was just awesome. This is like the terastallized glitter and all that stuff kind of just, it ruins it for me a bit. Not a bit. I mean, it ruins it for me enough to give it a C. So, yeah. I just don't like the Pokemon, says Luna. Yeah. Yeah. Clement's Quick Wit. Okay, so we're getting into the Pokemon Trainer SIRs. Clement's Quick Wit is... I'm not really hyped for it. I hope my first SIR from the set isn't Clement's Quick Wit. I know Eddie Broski. Eddie Broski pulled this. I think it was his first one just last night or the night before. And he was like, I think he was slightly okay with it. He just didn't want the Jasmine sandwich shop because he's like, I work in a sandwich shop. I don't want it. And he pulled this and he was like, damn. I was like, bro, wouldn't you rather have the sandwich shop over this card? Because I think this is probably my maybe almost second to least most hype SIR. So I'm going to put Clement's Quick Wit up with the full art. I think it's slightly better than the full art, but it's going to go with its the Executor right in the mid of C tier for me. Okay, I'm seeing C. Albino says D. Rena says C. Kevin says C. Got it. So I want to point out before I move on to the next card. I do want to say that I appreciate that the artist did good lighting on this card. I do like the colors of the background. It kind of has this like sepia. If you guys know what a sepia tone is or a sepia wash, it's like the background is like a sepia tone where it's like these like kind of blue, not blue, sorry. Sepia is like a brown wash. So like it's all these kind of hues of light browns, whatever. That's kind of visually interesting to me. So then your focus of your eyes goes on Clement as he's fixing whatever he's fixing, some power unit or something. And another thing I want to point out that maybe another artist would have overlooked or just been like, whatever. But you see how he's working on some kind of power cell and it's casting off this green light. What's nice is that the green light is reflected off his jacket or his uniform, and it's also reflected off probably those hoses that's like attached to that unit. And those hoses are probably made out of some kind of rubber or metal material that in real life would reflect the light in that similar way, especially in that way because, you know, tubes are rounded. So it would have kind of like that. I look for things like that, and I do appreciate those things. So I just want to say, while it's a C tier, I do want to give respect to the artist, at least for doing things and details like that accurately. So, yeah. This will be a very useful card in an electric deck. Heal 60 damage from each of your... oh, that's interesting. So maybe that might see some playability. Well, we'll see over the next several months what happens with that. Drayton. The Drayton SIR, or as, oh god, was it Kevin that said the toothpaste guy? Who was it said that? The toothpaste hair guy. He's at some kind of, in Japan, they have what are called the convenience stores, but they call them konbini with a K, Konbini. Like, so, if you guys ever go to Japan, basically there's like a 7-Eleven on every other street corner. And it looks like he's probably at like a regular konbini or convenience store or some kind of, you know, something like that. And just picking out like some drinks and whatever. I like the colors of things in his cart. I have seen this pulled. I think, did Rev pull this in one of his videos? So I kind of dig it. I'm not crazy about it, but I kind of dig it. I like how there's a lot of detail in the trainers in the background. You can also see there's like another little shopping cart behind him. Maybe he's grabbing a bunch of snacks from this place. So, LOL, D says, Albino's like, D. D for Drayton. I want to say, I'm putting it in like a B tier. Do I think it goes up in A tier? No, I don't think it's pushed its way up there. I'm going to put it in B tier, right above. I'm not like crazy about it, so I'm gonna put it with its full art trainer. I think it's better than the full art, but I'm not blown away by it, is what I'm trying to say. But I do like the colors. I do like the perspective. I do like the angle and everything. How the camera is slightly tilted. That's interesting to me. So I'm gonna put it in the B tier here. So that's what we're doing. Okay. All right. Jasmine's Gaze and the Sandwich Shop. So Eddie Broski was like, I don't want the sandwich shop. And I was like, this is one of my chases, guys. I love the Jasmine's Gaze. I think it's kind of a cute card. I love all the detail, the food in the background. Is it a little boring how she's in the center part of the image? Yes. So I think this is one of the reasons why, for me personally, it doesn't go into A tier because of that. But S for Sandwich as Albino. Albino's gonna be like, no! Well, I know you pulled it tonight too, didn't you? You literally pulled it out of your box. It skyrockets to S. Well, I know because you work for the sandwich meat company, so I know you want to put it in the S tier. I'm putting it at the very top of the A tier for me personally. I just wish that the pose was different and it would have pushed it into the S tier. There's a couple things here, multiple things that are pulling it back for me. But I want to be clear that this card is still a chase for me, despite it not being in the S tier. Okay, this is a big chase for me. So I just wish that maybe she was like. I just wish the pose was different. I love all the details in the background, colors, like you could see all the molding, the crown molding of like underneath this like bar stool, like all the line work of all that crown molding and things, and the bar stool bar. And there's just, the more I look at this card, the more I see. And that's the mark of a fantastic artwork, right? I just wish the pose was different. I wish she wasn't just like, oh, like I'm eating a sandwich and I'm looking back at you. So yeah, so it's like, Someone's gonna caption that and be like, "Ugh." Oh man. All right. Lycia's appeal. Lycia's appeal. Lycia's appeal. What do we think? What do we say? I might also upset some people with this, how I rank this one too. I'm expecting some people to be upset with this. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it A tier, high A tier, because it is kind of a chase for me. But I'm a little bit. I wish there was. I don't like the. I'm not. Let's be clear. I'm not a fan of the angle of this card, and I'm not a fan of how close it is to her, because it feels like, again, just like the Duraludon, it feels like they just took a full art and just plussed it. The only thing saving this card is that it's not the Duraludon, it's Alicia, and it has the Altaria in the background. So people, including me, are gonna like this. And here's Luna. No, no, I can't do it. I'm losing my voice. No. I definitely say A. Albino knows that no from Luna. So it's an A tier for me. I like the colors. Not a fan of the pose, though. I do like that they included Altaria in there. That's a big deal to me. This is one of those things where it could have been S tier, and that's what frustrates me. This could have been S. There's no reason why this shouldn't have been S if they changed this a little bit here and there. This could have been S tier all day long. So, yeah. All right, guys, now we're getting into gold cards. There's only the 6 gold cards, and then we're basically going to wrap up the stream. I don't think I'm going to raid anybody, guys, tonight. We're just basically going to call it because, you know, I know it's getting late. I'm tired. And we're going to wrap it up here within the next, like, 5-10 minutes. So, but I appreciate you guys, for all of you that have stuck in here with me. But Pikachu Gold, how do we feel about Pikachu Gold? Do we think it deserves to go up in A tier with the regular Pikachu Terastallized? Is it up there? Is it up there? I gotta be... Well, I'm always pretty honest with you guys. That this is... How do I feel about this? I'm conflicted. Do I like it more than the regular full art? Do I like it more than the regular full art? I don't think I do. I'm putting it in high B tier for me. I don't know. I feel like this is a safe spot for me. I'm putting it in high B tier. I have seen this card. Don't get me wrong. I have seen this card. I just feel like I like the regular colors help it pop a little bit more. But the gold is is a very pretty card. I just feel like I'm putting it in high B tier for me, like B+ tier. Okay. So that's where I'm putting it. Deal with it. All right. All right. Alolan Executor. Not sorry. F tier. Maybe this stream might end in less than 5 minutes or maybe a couple minutes, because I'm gonna go through these golds pretty quick. It's an F tier for me. I'm not an Executor fan. If I pull this card, I'll be like, okay, great, nice. I need it for my master set. Why Alolan Executor? Why does it always get cards when there's so many Pokemon that don't get any love, and I'm like, come on, why not? So no. All right, counter gain. All right, just the gold start off at C tier for me. Does it go higher in the C tier? Does it go to B tier? Does it go to D tier? The counter gain is very meh. It's very meh for me. I mean, it's just this, like, it looks like a watch, right? I mean, it's just, I'm gonna put it right near the Durant here. So for a gold card, it's like whatever. Okay, it's whatever. You guys can let me know if you feel differently about this, but I'm just putting it in D tier. I'm like, it's bleh. You know, it's bland. Kevin says, yeah, D. I'm seeing C. Okay, yeah. Gravity Mountain. I actually do like this card. I saw this pulled tonight. Luna's gonna say, I pulled this. Yo, I pulled this. And we got the shroom. Oh, what's the mouse thingy on the log there? You can see the mouse on the log, right? That's interesting. So that kind of, for me, it's not D tier. It starts off as C tier. Do I think it's pretty enough to be in actually B tier? I think it actually is kind of a pretty card, especially for a nice gold like this. I actually kind of enjoy it. I'm going to put it right below. You guys can't see it, but I'm putting it right below the Shinotic here and B tier. So it's lower B tier, but I like it. I like it. So it gets a B for me. It's right above the Clobopus. All right. You can't see it there, but it's right over here, right next to this Shinotic right here. All right. Last couple here. Night Stretcher. Do you need help? Let me get you out of danger on this Night Stretcher. Night Stretcher. Put a Pokemon or a basic energy card from your discard pile into your hand. Night Stretcher is a useful trainer card. I know people that bling out their decks like my nephew. There's some trainers out there, people that play the game, they're gonna want these in gold. So it's nice, but I'm not like, oh my god, look how beautiful that Night Stretcher is. It's a stretcher. So it's also gonna go in D tier for me, maybe above the watch thing here, right? So yeah. Finally, last but not least, guys, before we wrap this up, the Jet Energy. And I saw your C come in, Luna. The Jet Energy. Did Albino, I saw, if he's still here, Albino, I saw him pull this out of his box, right? That was literally your first pack of your box, was this? I mean, you guys had great boxes. You got a gold and an SIR in your boxes, which is kind of nutty for this set because the pull rates are super tough. So I would say for Jet Energy, it starts off at C, but I'm also going to kind of put it in D. I mean, it's a Jet Energy. It is what it is. Some people are going to love energies. If this was like one of those colored energies, like fire or something, maybe I'd leave it in C because those are really pretty energies. But this kind of really doesn't do anything for me. It really doesn't do anything for me, guys. So I'm just going to put it. I'm going to put it in D tier with these other colds right here. So I can't get it to go right there. There we go. So, guys, if we look at this whole list here, if I turn this off, we should be able to see here my whole list, right? We got the 4 S's, got a bunch in the A tier. I mean, B ranked tier is the biggest. We have the C tier, we have D, and then we have the F tier down here. So that's my final ranking, guys. Let me know what you think. Any big disagreements? Let me know right now before we wrap this up. Before we wrap this up, guys. So, I've had fun doing one of these art ranking streams again. It's been a while. As I said, we skipped Stellar Crown. So, the last time I did this was for Shrouded Fable, and we did that on Shrouded Fable's release day. So, we're doing this tonight on the release day of Surging Sparks, and I've had fun doing this. I've had fun talking to you guys about where you would grade certain things, and yeah, like that. So, as always, guys, I'm sorry. I'm trying to like get out my last few words here. You sure you don't want to see PokeFun Boys? No. We're just gonna. I think I'm just gonna wrap it up here because I gotta wrap it up here. But thank you guys, Kevin for sticking around, Luna, Rena, Albino, Mike for popping in, all you guys, Legends for popping in, everybody for holding down the fort, all that good stuff, and yeah, thank you as always for watching my videos, for being a subscriber, all that good stuff, being here tonight. And we'll see you on Sunday. We're going to be opening up a bunch of my nephew will be here. We're going to be opening up some sleeve boosters of Surging Sparks, plus a couple triple pack blisters and whatnot. And we'll see you then. So guys, have a great night, and we'll see you in 2 days. 2 days. Peace.